You know what? I had you in my timetable, but unfortunately, I was a little bit busy in making my presentation for tomorrow because I have to give a presentation tomorrow in school, and it totally slipped out of my mind. I'm really sorry about that.
Okay, okay, I understand.
Okay. All right. So, Yen, let's get started. All right. So I'm selecting book number 5, test number 1. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah. So, the topic is your country. Okay. Part 1.
okay.
Part 1. Question number 1. Which part of your country do most people live in?
Mm, so I think most people in my country, China, are living in the eastern part of the country, yeah, which is near the sea, and can have more financial resources, and they can also they can do more things like to sorry. I think the reason why people live in there is from for some degree is because from the history, because people from it's almost 1,000 years ago living there for the rich natural resources and the food resources, and then they just stay living there and for several generations until today. Then, in modern days, the reasons will be the commercial resources and the financial resources. For example, Shanghai, which is the biggest city in China, uh,
Yen,
is
yen, yen, yen. It's part 1. It
oh,
feels,
sorry,
yeah, yeah.
sorry.
It feels like you're telling me the whole paragraph or an essay. It's
Oh,
okay.
sorry.
It's okay. It's
Oh,
okay.
sorry. I
Look,
forgot it.
look. I'm really impressed the amount of information that you are able to provide, which is a very good thing. But do know this thing that when you speak for too long, okay, where there's not required to speak for too long, what can happen that me as a listener, me as your audience, I can lose coherence. No, not you, and not I can lose coherence. I will lose interest, and also I might lose attention. I might lose focus. That from where did you started to speak and from where did you end it? and
Okay.
and what bad will happen at your side? You might lose coherence. And what is coherence? How unified you speak, how unified in a whole you speak, how much your sentences are connected, how better your sentences are connected with each other, how logical your things, whatever the things that you're saying, you're connected to each other. Okay.
Okay.
Last not least, look, I loved the data that you provided. I appreciate that, and the information was too diverse. Very good, but the starting is a problem. Now, now why it is a problem, Yen? It's a problem because I felt that let's say one thing you should always keep in mind that you should not repeat the questions. All right, you should not repeat the question. All
Okay.
right. So what you actually did is that you repeated the question. However, you could have started with the actual content. For example, in my opinion, uh, in eastern part of China, sorry, in my opinion, the eastern part of my country is more populated because of these reasons, and then the other part of my country is less populated because of these reasons. However, uh, in these days, the population of China is increasing every day, so you might find people equally divided in the whole country. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. So uh, I was just giving an example, right? This wasn't not this couldn't be a perfect answer. Okay, it was just an example I was giving you. I was just telling you about the model, about the pattern, that how the things can evolve. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Perfect. Question number 2, Yen. Yen, look, imagine, imagine. I'm just saying this thing to boost your confidence. Just think about this thing that uh, which restaurant is your favorite restaurant in UK?
Okay, I think that was a Japanese restaurant.
Okay, and what is the name of that Japanese X restaurant? Do you remember?
I guess it's a sushi bar.
Sushi bar.
Yeah.
Imagine this thing that I have traveled to UK and I'm meeting with you for the first time, and you have asked me that, Chayan, today I'll take you to a Japanese sushi bar. It's an amazing restaurant. You'll love it, okay? So you and I, we are there, and I'm asking you these questions because I am really interested to know about China. Imagine this thing. So imagine that how would you respond to your friend, okay? How excited you will be while telling about your country to me as a foreigner. So have this kind of mentality at the moment. Now, why I'm saying this thing? I'm saying this thing to, let's say, boost your confidence. Because
Okay.
because how do we speak with our friends? We speak totally natural with them. We smile, we laugh, okay,
Yeah.
and we're excited to tell them different things. All right. So
Yeah.
so I'm interested to ask you this question, Yan. Number two. Tell me about the main industries there in China.
So nowadays, the main industries in China is actually the industry. The manufacturing. Well, uh, so sometimes people call China the actually the manufacturer of the whole world because they almost many goods in nowadays many goods in nowadays by bought or delivered in the world are or from China, or manufactured from China. And many people live in China make a live from there, make a profit from this. For example, my family actually a manufacturer who produce some pinnacle goods. Yeah.
Okay. Look, you need to be content. You need to be specific. Again, I'm going to say, for example, the question was, tell me about the main industries there in your country in China. Okay. Uh, the possible answer can be, which can sound coherent, because I'm noticing this thing that you're kind of losing coherence and you're jumping from the words, right? You're jumping from the words. You're not, let's say, pronouncing them.
Mhm.
If you're saying something, then you're quickly using another word and trying to explain the thing. So you're, let's say, shuffling here and there. Okay. So
Okay.
the possible answer, the one of the answers, the right answers can be to this question based on what information you provided me. Uh, uh, in my opinion, the manufacturing industry in China is one of the top leading industry of my country. However, we have some different industries as well, but the popularity that China has gained since the last decades is because of the manufacturing industry, because we are master at manufacturing computer products, electronic goods, heavy machinery, and many different items. Perhaps, or let's say, in fact, my family also belongs from a manufacturing industry, or let's say, uh, my family also owns a manufacturing company regarding to these products. It sounds very content specific, not going too much deep in the information,
Oh,
trying to stay on surface. Okay. So Yan, sometimes we, not always we need to go deep into the information. Sometimes, we can go with some basic information, trying to stay on surface, not thinking too much.
okay. Okay.
Okay. This is the first class. Don't worry, this is the first class. I'm just trying to make you understand that how you can answer better, in what better way. Okay.
Okay.
Very good. All right. So, uh, question number three: how easy it is to travel around your country? Two examples with speaking a little bit about them. That's it, please.
Okay. So I think, generally speaking, is it's easy to travel in my country because we have a very well organized and the sometimes complicated the national travel system, national transport system. Yeah. A very good example, I think, is the railway system. We just have some great construction of the many railways from the rich eastern side to even the something sometimes a poor western side. Yeah, so it is easy for me to take from my hometown to the US. For example, the Tibet to by the train within just half a day. Yeah, and also the airports are many airports are being constructed now, and then and the fee is not so high yet.
Okay, okay, very good, very good. Now, here's a model answer based on the information that based on the data that you have provided me.
Okay.
Here's another model answer that can be a little bit content and a little bit specific as well, and a little bit precise as well, right? So, how easy it is to travel around your country? Uh, in my opinion, nowadays it's really easy to travel around my country due to certain factors. For example, we have the world's best train system and as well as the air system, domestically speaking. Uh, uh, since last decade, it has been noticed that we have a lot of international tourists, and they were facing a lot of problems, even the local people as well, to commute from point A to point B in my country. So the train system, the advanced train system, is not only cheap, but it is very fast as well, and technologically, it's really advanced. For example, if I have to travel from Beijing to Tibet, so it doesn't take more than 12 hours. Whereas in the old train system, it used to take more than 24 hours. And speaking about the air industry, for example, airports, so a lot of new airports are being constructed in different cities and also in the countryside of my country as well, which does not only provides uh, commuting services traveling from point A to point B, but also being a but also very cheaper tickets, which is not a common thing to see in the world when traveling by air. That's it.
Okay.
That's it. That's it. Okay, that's it. Okay. So you might have noticed that when I speak about trains, I try to tell one or two good things about trains. That's it. And when I speak about aeroplanes, I try to tell one or two good things about aeroplanes. That's it. I'm not kind of mixing them, right? And how did I start it? I started in a very general way. I started by touching the history. I told that in history and present, who was suffering? International tourists were suffering, locals were suffering. Yeah, can you hear me in?
Yeah.
All right, good, perfect. So now that you understood.
Yeah.
Okay, good, good. So, uh, last question. Has your country changed much since you were a child?
Yeah, yeah, many changes happened in my country, and the first thing I think is very impressive to me is the transport system. There undergoes a very huge and great national level campaign of the construction of travel system like the railways to some poor and western side regions, and also the airports, yeah. Even my con, even the city I'm living, even the city I was living, started to construct uh, airport. And another big change I think now is something I think is annoying because from the since the pandemic of COVID-19, and my country started to do the lockdown policies. And nowadays I'm living in the overseas in the UK, and it will be a very hard job for me to try to come back to my home.
Now, speaking about part number two. Describe a well-known person you like or admire. Okay, first of all, let me send you the cue card in our chat box. That will be easier for you to reflect upon. Ta-da! It's in our chat box. Okay, so Yen, describe a well-known person you like or admire. You should say who this person is, what this person has done, why this person is well known, and explain why you admire this person. Remember one thing, speak about one thing at one time and then switch. Okay? Don't mix things. All right. So, Mr. Yen, you have 1 minute to prepare, and your time for 1 minute starts now. All right. So, Yen, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So, Mr. Yen, you have 2 minutes to speak, and your 2 minutes time starts now.
Okay. So I'm going to talk about the Japanese former Prime Minister Abe. Yeah, he is as I think he's the Japanese former Prime Minister, and I think the most impressive jobs he has done is to manage to finish the commercial treaty between Japanese and China, between Japan and China and other Asia Pacific countries. Yeah, and and she is so my is to some degree my hero because I think
Mm-hmm.
she is a person with wisdom and she's a smart person who can manage to achieve the balance between the profits of different groups of the people in Japan itself, and also the profit from of different countries. Yeah, although some Chinese may regard him as evil, but I think the evil sometimes to some degree is a very good characteristic for a politician. Yeah.
That's it.
Mm. Yeah.
Okay. So you have spoke for 1 minute and 16 seconds, whereas you had to speak for 2 minutes, all right? For 1 minute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, so I meant to come up with the other things. Yeah.
yeah, kind of, right? But you know
Oh,
what?
okay.
Well, this is first time. This is first day. Okay, so no hard feelings. Okay, but it's totally all right. Okay, but Yen. Now, one thing first. One thing's first things first. That when you kind of do the transition from one sentence to another, uh, you do it. You do it so smoothly, and I would say smoothly but very confusing. So me as your listener, me as your audience, I kind of lose the track that when did you start to talk about the another thing, all right? So be a little bit categorical, be a little bit expressive. Remember the train example, the train and the airport example when I was giving you when I was speaking really slowly, topic by topic, sentence by sentence. So the main idea is that at the moment what I'm feeling, what kind of feeling I'm having, all right?
Okay.
I want you to focus on your coherence. Okay, focus on your coherence. Okay, so
Okay.
let me share my screen with you. Okay, I haven't scored you in every question because this is the very first class, but this is how I scored you in the oops, sorry, this does not belongs from here. I mistakenly wrote the score here. This belongs from part one here. So if you can see here, I have only given you score for the diagnostics purposes. I have just given you score in question one and question two of part one. Okay.
Okay.
So check this out, the categorical average score. So it seems like vocabulary is fine, pronunciation is fine, grammar, we can talk about that. Fluency is also fine because you speak fast, which is a good thing. Okay. You're not choking up in between. But however, the coherence is a problem. You have least score in grammar and coherence. So for now, let's only focus on coherence. One by one, we will focus on each different things. All right? Because
Okay.
if I tell you, Yen, that oh no, you need to focus on fluency, on coherence, on grammar, on vocabulary, and pronunciation, all at once, you will be confused. It will be overwhelming. So one thing at one time. Let's focus on coherence, all right? So now what we will do in our next session is that when I will be asking you these questions, right? I will be giving you 30 seconds for each question. To be precise, what you will do, you might write, for example, if it's a question that how the traveling system has changed in your country, you might write, okay, you have 30 seconds. Example, let's say imaginary, you have 30 seconds, right? You might write HIST means history, short form history means, for example, I will speak a little bit about history, and then you will speak about, let's say, tourists slash LOC, loc means tourist slash loc means local people. All right. and then you will talk about train. Then you will talk about plane. Okay, so now this shows what? I don't know whether you can see this or not. All right. So yeah, it's a little bit inverted.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit inverted. I'm really sorry about that. Wait a second. If I can invert this, yeah, I can invert this. Right, mirror. Perfect. Okay. So if you can see here, history, tour, and
Yes.
slash local, and then I've written what? Train and then plane. Okay. So if you can see
Okay.
here, it's a little bit more now understandable. Okay. Now it's more focused,
Yeah.
right? So now in 30 seconds, at least I can write these four things. All right. Now, when you will speak in every question, you will see this and you will try to stay content. You'll try to stay precise, focused on these things only. You're not just going to go here, there, and shuffle, keep on shuffling. And our first target, our first goal is to work on your coherence. Okay?
Okay.
Yes. So, yep, that was my detailed review. So now let me just, flip back the camera because it's, spinning my head now. Okay. All right. Perfect. So, yes, Yen, we're done with today's class. What do you want to say?
I think maybe I need to practice more about the co coherence. So maybe something about conjunction, the connecting words or something like that. Logical
Um,
words.
yeah, I would say this thing that at the moment, don't focus on conjunctions or connective words, okay, because they are the part of our grammar, okay? Right
Okay.
now, just focus on coherence. Be precise. Focus on being precise, okay? Like,
Okay.
like even if you have to speak slowly, speak slowly. I wouldn't mind because right now we're only focusing on coherence.
Okay.
Once yen the coherence is fixed, then we will come on the fluency as well. Then the fluency and coherence will be scored together. Then both are fixed, then we will come on the grammar. Then the grammar is fixed, then vocabulary and pronunciation, don't worry about that. That eventually, by the way, your vocabulary is good. I would say it's good. Okay, I wouldn't say that it's really bad. It's good, I guess.
Okay.
Yes. So this will be our line of action.
Okay.
I hope you enjoyed class. I hope I didn't make it boring.
Yeah, I do enjoy it.
Okay, it's an honor. It's an honor. All right, Yen, thank you so much for coming over, and then let's meet in our next class. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Yen.
Thank
Bye
you very
bye.
much.
See you. Zaijian.
Have a good night.
Good night. Thank you. Thank you.